sword fight, fight, fight. Monkey sword fight, fight, fight. Monkey sword fight, fight, fight. Monkey sword, monkey sword.
Right, I know. The beeps are funny in themselves. Right, we'll get cracking on. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Perth's premier podcast, Monkey Sword Fight, with me, your host, Jordan Patrick, and nae Mikey Dots.
Nae Mikey Dots.
Mr. Mikey Dots is out there getting that bread.
Earning that paper, son.
We miss you, Mike.
Love you, Mike.
Andy Mack on the ones and twos, though, as per usual.
Well, hang on, though. I have got a Words with Dots to drop into this week's episode.
Yeah.
So let me just slide that in here.
A person who really wants something will find a way. A person who doesn't will find an excuse.
Obviously, Jordan's not heard it yet, so I think you can react to this when you listen back to the podcast tomorrow. How about that?
What I'll do is I'll play it back to Chuff. My girlfriend, she absolutely hates the motivational words that Mike drops in. So every time she listens, all I hear is her going, oh. We're also joined by one and only Nnena Mckenzie AKA BLKGRL. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
So thank you very much for joining us this week.
You're very welcome. Looking forward to it.
Excellent. So, first things first, let's get the business out of the way. This week's show is sponsored by Fair City Jiu-Jitsu. Now, Andy,
Yes, Jordan.
you're a man of honour.
Some might say that, yes.
You're a man of respect.
At times.
And this is a place of unity.
Of course.
And those are the three fundamentals down at Fair City Jiu-Jitsu.
That's what I'm talking about.
Perth's one and only, well, I don't know if they're one and only, but we're talking about this. Perth's one and only Jiu-Jitsu school for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Perth's only dedicated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training facility. Now, they offer classes suitable to all experience levels, and this is 7 days a week. Everyone's welcome. Come in, get fit, and enjoy being part of the team and learn something new. First session is free.
Free.
I had a nice bit of feedback from Steve O'Grady down at Fair City Jiu-Jitsu, thanking us for shout out on the podcast, and they managed to get in about 17 people on the course.
Brilliant.
Excellent times.
Good stuff.
Happy
And obviously Mitch and that had gone down on the back of hearing about it on the podcast and that, so it's all good.
Excellent. So shout out to the boys at Fair City Jiu-Jitsu. And girls, sorry. Any feedback from last week's show?
Few bits and pieces. There's a couple of emails and that have come in. A few people reaching out in the comments as well. Chris Cass as well sent in some good Braw Or Naws and some stuff that he was discussing. So it's not so much feedback I can share right now because it's all kind of good stuff to use throughout the show.
There may or may not be a special returning feature that I'm really excited about. Wait to hear about this now. You're going to love it. I did get some feedback from Mama Pats.
What's up, Mama Pats?
She says, Andy, Paul's going to give you a doing.
Yep.
But she's very flattered.
I know.
Andy's got a bit of a crush on Mama Pats, which is my mum. Our most loyal of listeners.
Yep.
I also got tell off from Rachel for sniffing too much on last week's episode.
He wasn't well, Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. Got to say hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Thank you. So, I think that's all for feedback.
Yeah.
So, like I say, we are joined by singer, songwriter, performer, spoken word artist, Nnena Mckenzie.
Rapper.
Yeah. Sorry.
Woman of many talents.
AKA BLKGRL. So how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very good.
Thank you very much for coming along.
You're welcome.
No, so we've been trying to get you on. Well, we've been talking about getting you on for a while because you're part of Perth's ever-growing hip-hop, spoken word and performance scene.
Yeah. I've only been living in Perth for about 4 or 5 years, and I started writing about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So you sent us Mike in his absence is probably another one of us. He got you to do a pre-interview for us.
Oh yeah.
And I read
what did I say? Because loads has happened since.
I read it before, right, and then I thought, right, I better read it again tonight to go back through it. And I was reading some of the stories, and I was like, fuck, I cannot wait for this because you've got some absolute belters in here. So we'll start from the start.
I have.
So you've answered it here, but so. Tell us, first of all, how did you get into music and performing?
How did I get into music? Well, I did music as a child. So I am sort of like classically trained and kind of like stuff like that. But I basically got into music as a kind of second career because basically I turned 40 and a very blunt friend of mine, not Scottish, just kind of said to me, so you're going to be 40 next month, so what are you going to change? Because by the time you're 50, it's too late. And I just thought, cheeky bitch. But like, it was one of those questions that you can't help thinking
Just
about.
plays on your mind.
Yeah, and so I was trying to forget it, but actually I was in a really shit relationship at the time, and I just thought, you know what, I'm getting out of this. And so that's what I did. And felt great about it for all about 2 weeks, and then was replaced by a 26-year-old blonde by the end of the year. And that just kind of, I don't know, like, you have to do something in order to, like, not go crazy when that happens, and not to lose your shit, because like, we had kids together, we had a house together, we had a mortgage together, massive mortgage together, and I'd been not working for 5 years because I had young kids and I had an office job, and he was always traveling. So I just was like, what am I going to do to kind of like keep my shit together and have fun as well? Because like, when you split up with someone, you know what it's like. The first thing you want to do is go out, date. When you've got kids, you can't necessarily do that, but you do want to kind of have a laugh.
It's a strange situation as well, because I was in a long relationship before I split up, and you kind of have to sort of figure out, who am I by myself?
Totally. I didn't remember who I was. All I knew was that I wanted to go and see Mary J. Blige play live. I wanted to go and see Beyonce. And that actually, the Beyonce concert is how it happened, because I wanted to go and see Beyonce for my 40th birthday with me and my sister. And because my then partner was always travelling, I was just kind of like, look, you book it for me to go and see the concert whenever. You just have to stay home with the kids. And so she was playing in London. So he booked the tickets, and then the weekend I was meant to go down to London to go and see her. He basically decided that he was, I don't know, going to go and play tennis, or he was fucking off basically. And he had his mum to come over and look after the kids, who were very young at that point. And I was just standing by my guns, sticking to my guns. And I just, you know, when she was like, oh, so shall I call you if something happens to the kids? I was like, no, I have left my children with their father, and he has chosen to go and play golf. So if something happens to the kids, you call him. I flew down to London, and I was so excited about seeing Beyonce, and it was a single ladies tour. And everywhere I went, I was like going into the O2, and everyone was like, you're on your own? And I was like, yeah. By the fourth time, someone had said to me, oh, are you on your own? I was like, yeah, and I'm not just on my own tonight. I'm on my own for good, because I was like, what the fuck am I doing for my 40th birthday in London on my own to Beyonce concert? Do you know what I mean? This is the universe telling me something. Do you know what I mean?
It's all aligning.
Yeah, and I just kind of thought, you know what? Yeah.
Fucking have it.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're at. So is Beyonce the one? She's like, did you leave that concert thinking, I want to do some music?
I did. Yeah. Kind of. Well, at first I wanted to see loads of music, and also I lived in this massive kind of like show home, kind of like way too many rooms and no money for furniture kind of thing, because we'd bankrupted ourselves buying the place, and I just thought. So the first thing I did was I got loads of lodgers in, and I had this garage. And I didn't have a car at the time, so it was like a double garage. And I just kind of had this vision of turning the garage into a recording studio. And I wanted the rest of the house, because it was kind of like floor to ceiling windows. And I was just sitting there one day thinking, what the fuck am I going to do with the rest of my life? Like you do when the kids are at nursery. And I just thought, this place reminds me of a film studio. And so I thought, right, I need to make this house work for me, because like the electricity bill alone was like massive. And I just thought, right, I'm going to take some pictures of it, create a website, and I'm going to rent it out for location shoots and TV shoots and stuff like that. And I'm not kidding. Literally, the week after I did that, like I was doing it with my phone and stuff, and just created this website. The week that I put those photos up, somebody happened to be doorstepping all the houses in my area, and just saying, you know, oh, we're looking for cool locations for a film shoot. And literally a week later, I had a Hollywood actor in my kitchen filming scenes for, I can't remember, it was either Pram Face or it was some big.
I remember that show. It was on the it was on BBC One, I think.
BBC Three. Well,
BBC Three. That was
Pram
it. Yeah.
Face was basically shot in the party scene where she gets pregnant. It was actually shot in my house, and my house was doubling for an arms dealer's house, which kind of shows you the kind of psychopath that I was living with at the time. But I just didn't, I was just kind of oblivious to all of this. But literally all the time, my house was just basically used as, a really rich, evil, nasty person lives here. And the best thing that I had happen there was they were doing this, I think, German production, and it was starring Charles Dance was in it, but he wasn't filming in my house. But basically, they needed this really, this guy, the character had been thrown out by his wife, and he was living with his, young woman who he was having an affair with. And basically, they needed this kind of like really amazing looking flat in London. But of course, rich people in London don't want their flats wrecked by film crews.
Yeah.
But the location director said, I know the perfect house to do it. And she chose my house. And basically, I got paid for 2 weeks of them putting scaffolding all the way around my house so that they could green screen it and make it look like it was overlooking the River Thames. So the footage is absolutely amazing. Do you know what I mean? Because you look out onto what should be a garden, and there you've got the River Thames and the Tower Bridge and all of that. So it's just amazing. So I just had the best time, and the best time of filming was I had Stephen Fry in there filming Doors Open, which was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing to me.
Did you actually get to speak to him and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I by then I was back working, and I just pretended to be ill that day.
If there's going to be a reason to pull a sickie, Stephen Fry coming in.
Totally.
See, like, whenever I hear Stephen Fry, like I always whenever I go to sleep, I have to have something playing in the background. And Stephen Fry does all the Harry Potter audiobooks.
Yeah, exactly.
So I used to have like the Harry Potter. So every night I feel like, Stephen Fry, just tell me a wee bedtime story. As I tuck in for my nap now.
I was a little bit kind of starstruck when I saw him, because he is kind of, he's my kind of comedian, and kind of, he went to the same university as me, and just, I love Me and My Girl, and kind of like before I kind of knew really who he was. So yeah, I loved him.
Well, I've seen here, so I was just reading through, so it doesn't seem you're a stranger to sort of the celebrity. There's a couple of stories you told here about when you used to live in Brixton. I
have, yeah. Well, I used to live, I lived in South London for a while, before Brixton is the way it is now. It was pretty rough. And my then boyfriend, I get through them at a fair rate, was...
All the single ladies, come on.
Yeah, totally. I'm completely undateable now, but that's another story. But we lived behind the Brixton Academy. And there's kind of like loads of alleyways there, and it's kind of like a cul-de-sac. And it was just this place where, honestly, you could literally kind of go down the kind of like fire escape stairs that, you have on council estates. You could go down there, and you never knew whether Tony Blair or Nelson Mandela was like, it's near the Stockwell estate, and that was meant to be one of the biggest zinc estates in South London. So our estate was next to that, so that was kind of where all the media and everyone regrouped before they went into the really bad estate. But we also had a police office like across the road, so the riot police would get changed in that alleyway as well before they'd get out and meet the rioters. But also that was the same alleyway that led on to the Brixton Academy, so you'd see everyone from, I saw Eric Clapton there, and not in one of his good phases, but he was kind of being whisked away by people. Yeah. Bruce Springsteen was very nice though. And then I saw loads of people play live there. Like I saw Lady Gaga play live there before, and the Fugees, because it was one of those places where people booked it before they blew up. Yeah. But then often, like the Fugees blew up completely.
Yeah, by the time they'd blown up.
Tiny venue. Honestly, it was like being at a Bob Marley concert.
It's the best venue I've ever been to.
Absolutely.
And that slope leading down to the stage,
amazing.
just, I don't know, there's something about it, man. I went to see Cypress Hill there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw Snoop Dogg there,
insane.
Dr. Dre, all.
See, I've never been there. There's a video I love watching,
amazing.
and it's the Arctic
It's similar to Barrowlands.
Yeah,
like it's that similar kind of
the
vibe.
Arctic Monkeys in 2005, just before their first album kicked off, and it looked insane.
Yeah, because I think it's because the artists love playing there as well, so they give amazing performances. And I think that's also, I mean, Lady Gaga was playing arenas at that time when I saw her, and she still chose to play at Brixton Academy, and it was just like,
it's one of those things you
bucket
hear
list venues for bands.
Totally.
You hear a lot.
Yeah.
You hear performers talking about it like that. The Barrowlands, was it? Yeah, a lot of comedians talk about
King Tut's and stuff like
yeah,
that, man.
totally.
Those are all bucket list places, and you find that, oh, they're a massive band now. Well, funny, check. They played all those places
totally.
on the way up to sell
Yeah.
in Wembley Arena in the O2.
yeah.
So.
And to be honest, I was one of those people that just would get tickets for even if I didn't know who was playing, just because you could kind of
you
tell.
sort of feel it's a band's about to kick off.
Exactly. Yeah. Whoever was booking the bands then knew what they were doing. You know.
Nice. Well, there's another one here that you ended up at a Channel 4 Christmas party.
Oh my God.
I wanted to hear more about this.
So the guy I was living with, I want to say dating, but I was actually living with him at that time, was a writer. He was a playwright. And at that time, playwrights, they then did radio plays for the BBC, and then that was quite a good way to get into TV. So he'd done a couple of TV films, I guess, and one of them was directed by Danny Boyle, pre-Trainspotting. And basically, Trainspotting was the next film that he went on to direct.
He'd done Shallow Grave, didn't he?
Yeah, is that, sorry, yeah. So probably, no, but Trainspotting was actually the next film he was going to do. Yeah, so he'd already done Shallow Grave. And so we went to this Channel 4 party, and I was not... I'm not really fazed by celebrities at all because I'd never really met any, and I'm one of those people that doesn't really want to meet their idols at all. So had lots of opportunities to meet Madonna, and I was like, I don't want to meet her because I really can't face her being a bitch or not being.
Imagine she was
do you
an
know what I mean?
arsehole,
Exactly. So so I went to this party, and literally I walked in, and there was Clive Anderson. He started talking to me, and
Legend.
completely like
legend.
I was slightly starstruck by him because I used to watch all his programs. Do you know what I mean? But I was playing it really cool. And Steve Coogan came up and so kind of, do you know what I mean? So shy, so tiny, very, very shy. And and my then husband, or my later husband, actually ended up partying with him later, but that's another story. But and so there were just, Danny Boyle was there, Andrew McDonald was there. There were all these people that I knew, loads of actresses that I knew as well. But basically, I'm really tall. I'm 5'11", and this is a long time. This is about 25 years ago. So I'm the only person in the room that no one knows. So I was basically, and I think like show business people, especially actors and actresses, they're a bit wearing, and comedians are very insecure. I know now, and miserable also because they're more funny when they're drunk, and now they're on their sober.
People,
and now they're sober. So imagine they're at a party and they can't drink, and they're with all these industry folk and like whatever. So I was the only person that everyone wanted to talk to.
And it's almost sort of reverse celebrity. Who's that talking over there?
Literally, everyone was kind of like, who's she? Is she the next big thing kind of thing? And then at one point, Salman Rushdie walked in with Maria Helvin on his arm. And at that point, I thought, I think it's time to leave now before we all get blown up.
Fucking hell.
So, yeah.
So it's fair to say you had a fair bit of life experience just with celebrities, and
it was fun.
You lived in, I fucking love London. Like, I was down there with work the other day. Every time I go down, I'm just like, this looks amazing.
But the London that I grew up in is very different from now. I mean, now it's a rich person's paradise, definitely. And in Brixton, you had a lot of arty people living there. So a lot of the train spotting crew kind of, I don't know whether they lived near there, but they often went there for like, or the actors go there for like lunch or whatever, and you recognise them, but it wasn't a kind of.
It was just more of a scene,
it wasn't a celebrity-driven age in the way that it is now. I mean,
it wasn't everything. No camera phones or social media presence. It's just you see that person on the
totally.
telly.
No,
or on
there
film.
were no phones exactly,
Yeah.
so you could kind of have breakfast or whatever with Kelly MacDonald, and kind of it was no big deal. Like she was big, but no one bothered her, kind of thing.
So we'll jump back forward again. So let's see, you went to see Beyonce, Queen Bee.
Yeah.
I was actually rocking a bit of Beyonce in the gym earlier. Having a grand
Was that
old
before
thing.
or after Take That?
I was before Take That. You try
I
to
love
shame,
Take
don't even
That.
try and shame me, man. You try and tell me that when it only takes a minute kicks in that, man, that's some cracking wee, that's some jamming music, man.
No.
Don't come at me. Don't even come at me.
I'm just saying.
Don't shame me.
Hashtag just saying.
Take that. I'll stand by that. Not nowadays though. Was it? It's just Gary Barlow, one of the dancers, and the wee one, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that all?
That's all. There's only 3 of them left now.
Oh, I thought
The other dancer married somebody off the telly.
Oh, Jason Orange. Or...
I think so.
Yeah.
They're both. I think they're interchangeable. They're just tall,
I
handsome,
know,
long
yeah.
hair.
It's
Really.
a bit like One Direction. You could lose half the band and you wouldn't really miss them.
I still don't understand how the fuck Mark Owen made it into a boy band. He's about.
Dance, I guess.
I don't know, but he's about 4'9" and he looks like a 9-year-old lassie. Like.
Yeah.
It's a different time back then, mate.
It was, yeah. They're all
Anyway.
icons now.
Oh, Ken. Robbie till I die. Anyway, so you go, you split up with your partner. You go and Beyonce inspires you through.
Yeah.
So what's the first steps after that? What do you do?
Well, initially I went back into financial services because I basically had a 3-pronged approach. One of them was get lodgers in. Another one was rent my place out for film, TV and photo shoots. and the other one was go back into financial services, which was, I was a writer in financial services, so I thought do that. And basically all of them kind of paid off. Couldn't get a job in Edinburgh though, so I had to go to London. Went to London for 6 months to work, and then my kids kind of missed me and I kind of came back. Basically just knew I wanted to do something creative because I just wasn't really, I just couldn't do an office job. And really had lost who I was in my old life, and I just wanted to kind of get back to being me. Wasn't really sure who I was, but it was nice when you live on your own, like you just kind of, I just played music all the time. And so once I sold my house in Edinburgh, I knew that I wanted to basically build a recording studio. That's what I wanted to do. And I thought that I wanted to rent it out as a kind of business kind of thing. And then after I'd been here about a year and started settling down and had redecorated my place, I just wake up every morning and I just have bars and I just write them down. Like it wasn't, I was more like I was a vessel rather than I was trying to write. And my brother's a DJ producer, lives in Copenhagen. He's signed to Sony. And he asked me to help him out with some lyrics, with something, because he's just like, he does house music, so lyrics in house music aren't really. So
it's more, he's really sort of beats and.
Yeah, I mean he does rap as well, but it's very repetitive. It's not really kind of reality rap or storytelling necessarily. It's just kind of like. I love dance, you know, hands in the air kind of thing.
Bars over the top.
But he had something that he wanted to write, and he had written loads of poems, but he said he couldn't turn them into songs. So he sent me about 20 poems, I guess, and sort of stream of consciousness stuff. And I turned a couple of those into songs, sent them back to him. And he was with, he knows loads of people in the music industry. And there are a lot of Danish songwriters that live in LA, whatever, and, you know, one of the most successful songwriters, Max Martin, is Swedish. So there's a lot of, you know, kind of, in his world, which is kind of Avicii, Swedish House Mafia, he was opening for some of the biggest names. And so he was with a producer who had worked with the Pussycat Dolls and was Grammy nominated when I sent him that email when he was reading it. So he showed it to his friend and he was like, oh God, you should totally do this as a living. And that's when I thought, right, I'm going to look into what this entails. And like most people who are artists that are trying to get into the music business, I was very much thinking about the old model that's about networking and connections and being discovered and getting a record label. And as I looked more and more into it, most people are independent artists nowadays. You have to do everything yourself. It's all do it yourself. So, you know, I've been writing loads, and I was on a writing cycle last year, but it's all about open micing it and, you know, learning production, doing production courses, you know, learning how to basic graphic design, learning how to create lyric videos, calling up, you know, bookers at venues, finding out, you know, who's playing where, trying to get support slots. It's just like the whole thing. And I am a singer-songwriter, but I don't record my own songs. So it's also finding singers to sing my songs for recordings. And then just getting the confidence, really, to stand up and rap. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So,
it's just, I'd done the same when I finally decided to do stand-up last year. And I know what you mean. It's a case of like even sort of sitting on it for ages, and then actually getting up and trying to do it is probably the most it's the most terrifying thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I think stand up is probably hard. I mean, I know that rapping or singing to music is easier than doing spoken word, because you've got the music that kind of carries you through. And if somebody likes the beat, they can like your stuff just because they like the beat. So you can kind of be a little bit crappy. But I think comedy is difficult because not only have you got to remember what you want to say and make it sound like you're just saying it on the spot, but you also want people to laugh and you're shitting yourself. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I was just saying beforehand. There's like, I'm really glad about the next blend that I'm not performing, because I'll actually be able to just sit and have a drink and not be worrying. But I know what you mean in the fact that it's like it's trying to do something different, and like you say, you sort of rediscovering who you are,
totally,
and sort of stepping outside your comfort zone. Like you say, it's sort of a different arena now where you have to go out and do all this stuff yourself and actually put the work in behind it.
Yeah, and for a long time I did think that comedy would be my outlet, and I thought, right, I've got to find the balls to do stand-up comedy, and I just thought, I can't do comedy. Do you know what I mean? Like I can have my friends in stitches, and I do kind of do comedy skits for them. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, no, I can write comedy, but I want someone else to say it. I don't want to be the person saying it. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That was the scariest thing I thought. Is I know I can make my pals laugh, or I can make my missus laugh, but then trying to make complete strangers laugh.
Yeah.
There was a woman at the blend, one of the blends a while ago. I can't remember who she was, but stony faced the entire time I was up there, and the rest of the crowd were having a laugh, and I was just could not take my eyes off. There's one person that wasn't laughing. I was like, "You bastard, what is wrong with it?"
Yeah, I think comedy's tough because it's you got to be. It's a flavour.
Well, see, I think it depends, like you say, because I couldn't get up and do a poem or rap. Like, I can rap away in my car, but like actually taking that step. And
you probably could.
I don't know, like.
Because you kind of like, I'll still never forget when my son is obviously all into his rap and stuff like that. And the first time I went into Icebreaker Studio to record a song, I ended up recording a rap, and I was very proud of this kind of thing. And I gave it to my son, and he was listening to it on his phone, and he's like, "Mum, you got bars." Do you know what I mean? And I thought, praise indeed. So I was like, okay, because kids don't lie.
No, they don't. They're brutally honest.
Yeah.
Like, brutally honest. Saying that my kid told me I was getting fat the other day. So I dropped them.
And about those celebrations again.
My kids tell me I'm not fat for a mum.
I got to tell I was relationship skinny. Like, I'm not
I
fat,
heard
but
that,
I'm not fat, but you can tell I've been going out with somebody for a wee while now.
Oh, God.
Oh, Christ. Anyway, right, so is there anything that when you said you were in a writing cycle, so do you try and have like period of time where you'll try and get everything just out on a bit of paper and you'll take a wee break away from it, or do you just like jot down things that pop in your head, like melodies or lyrics? Do you just jot them down wherever you can?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always writing. But I mean, you'll know this, Andy, like you can get very self-indulgent as an artist, and I could just be in my bedroom, hiding away in my bedroom, just writing. But if you don't actually perform it for anyone or try to sell it to someone or try to do something with it, it's just really kind of creative indulgence and, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
if you're not going to do anything with
slightly
it.
kind of adolescent wank, really. So you need to kind of take it
That's
to the
an
next.
episode title, by the way. Thank you very
So
much.
you need to take it to the next stage and make it entertaining and see how audiences react to it. So the next stage is kind of like, you've got some good stuff, and then maybe you've got some people that you send it to, but you also need to open mic it. Before you go into a lot of people go into the recording studio too early, and so you need to open mic it and find out who your audience is, find out how you feel about performing it. Do you like your backing track? Kind of like, do you feel stupid saying these lyrics, kind of thing? And how do people react to it? And because although sometimes I think, oh yeah, this is great, and I always come back to it 6 months later and I think, oh, is it still good? But you can end up changing something that people are like, no, I want it like that. So you really need to perform it. You can't just look at it in a vacuum. But at the same time, I'm not doing what anyone else is doing. I write. I'm 50 this year, and I'm a reality rapper, so I write about my life. I don't have any words in my raps that I wouldn't say as a person.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I don't really jump on trends. I might jump on beat trends, but what I say, like I talk about, I talk about shit that's going on in my life. Do you know what I mean? So I don't write any love songs because I can't remember the last time I was in love. And
Well, your audience will appreciate that, though. You can tell if someone's being honest the second they step. Andy Mack's the perfect example. When his poems are some of my favourite shit, and they're a cross between spoken word and comedy.
Yeah.
But that's the way that Andy Mack speaks. I've known Andy Mack for 6 or 7 years, and the way he does his poems is exactly how he talks. It's what he talks about. It's
because I say what I see.
Exactly.
Or to be honest, like although all the situations in my poems never actually existed, they're all made up.
Well,
There was never a woman at my door, knock, knock.
Aye.
There was never a JK in my street fighting with Mrs. Brown. I just made it up. But the point is, it's delivered in a way that,
you would do it.
had it been real,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
That's like one of my biggest punchlines never actually happened to me. It was a story my pal taught me when he worked at a school, and one of his kids called him pedo teeth, and that was about 5 years ago. And I remember trying to write this bit and it popped into my head. And I was like, I've been calling folk pedo for years. Ever since I heard that joke.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything,
Yeah.
but it sounds brilliant, so you
Yeah.
put it down. But I say people can tell, your crowd immediately can tell if you're being honest or not.
Oh, totally. And I mean, I drive a lot because I drive my kids. My kids both play tennis, and I drive them all over Scotland for tennis tournaments. And when I'm listening to music, I re-top line a lot of people's stuff because when I listen to music, I don't usually hear lyrics. I just hear the melody. I just hear the beat basically, and then I'll either rap my own stuff over it to kind of as a way of practicing and. I especially like rehearsing when I don't know the lyrics properly because rap lyrics, you've got tons of lyrics.
Yeah.
Because in forgetting the lyrics, often I come up with a better lyric. But also so to see how my stuff works over a professional beat. But often that's when I'll come up with ideas because they'll say one word in the whole song. You know, most of it will be like, you know, Gucci, Prada, Chanel. I mean,
Yeah.
Rolex.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It just sounds like a millionaire shopping
but
list.
they'll
a lot
say
of raps
one
nowadays.
thing like maybe predator or something that I think, oh, that's a cool word. Like, do you know what I mean? And before you know it, you've got a hook. And because I write very hooky lyrics, and then you know, so then that's another idea and goes in the pad, and you can just kind of, you know, you get invited to do things, and I just look to see what I've got, and yeah.
You ever find it's the unfinished stuff that's sometimes the best stuff? Because then you're going to come back to it, say, 6 months later, and you're having a look through stuff, and you're going, actually, this thing that I wrote 3 months ago, I thought was a load of shit.
Yeah.
Actually, if I kind of take a large chunk of that, paraphrase some other bits, that actually goes with what I'm writing about just now.
Yeah.
Boom, song
That's
done.
exactly how I write. All my songs are made up of, so they'll start as, or all my raps will start as 3 separate songs that I end up putting together because in looking at them, I'm like, oh, actually, this is the hook for that.
It helps you, the more you do it as well. Again, I've no relevance in songwriting, but when I'm doing if I'm trying to write a set, I'll have 6 different jokes. And the hard part's not writing the jokes, it's then trying to how to find
It's a game of connect the
natural
dots. Yeah.
progression from one into the other. So you're not just like, so this happened the other day, so sausages are weird. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. You've got to try and find an actual
Yeah.
a path through it.
Yeah.
So do you find that there's any real situation that you find best to write in? Or can it just be any time? Do you have any
Well, no, I know there is I write best when I'm relaxed, I'm doing something else. So often when I'm in the gym, doing spin or something like that, so I'm listening to, you know, the music's pumping out kind of thing, I'll often get a hook after that when I'm driving because I'm relaxed when I'm driving. Also, first thing in the morning, I often wake up and I've got some annoying, you know, something, and I know it's good, and I'm half awake, and I have to, like, you know, that's why I keep my phone by my bed, and I have to get the lyric down. And some of my bed, like my song "Alcoholic," that I got that down pretty much all in one go, and that was just one morning. I just woke up having listened to a Halls in Benny Blanco song the night before on repeat because I loved it, and then the next morning I woke up with my own lyrics. So yeah, so first thing in the morning around 7, between
just when you
5
sort
and
of like
7.
that sort of hazy period between consciousness and unconsciousness.
Yeah, and a lot of writers have that.
Yeah, I once wrote down Canadian Duck Border Patrol when I was half asleep, and I'm convinced there's something there.
Yeah, it's your,
No idea what it
it's your
is.
subconscious. You're not trying to.
I had a dream where I'd done an entire set and I thought it absolutely killed, and then I woke up and couldn't remember any of it. And Megan's like, it was probably shite. I was like, nah, probably.
Yeah, running as
Cheers,
well.
Megan.
But yeah, so whenever I'm relaxed and doing something else.
Yeah,
You
something
know.
that you can just, your brain sort of switches off and the back part wakes up.
I never sit down to write. I sit down to edit or make something better or practice and rehearse, but I don't sit down to write with a blank piece of paper. I always use something else to give me. Often when I'm watching TV, something like that, there'll be a good line in something or good idea, and I'll be like, oh,
Nice.
you know.
Well, you did say that you'd be happy to perform one of your songs a cappella for us.
Yeah.
So would you be happy to get on and do that?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I was thinking I'll do Alcoholic because most people are being so trying not to drink at the moment.
Go for it.
So I thought everyone would relate to that.
Go for it. This is Nnena Mckenzie AKA BLKGRL and Alcoholic.
Red wine, that'll do fine. I don't really want it. Order another gin and tonic because I function better on it. I ain't really alcoholic, just a little melancholic. Makes me less neurotic. I need a drink. I can't think. I take pills. I ain't ill. Down to my last Valium, a couple more citalopram. I really need to chill. Start ripping out my diaphragm because right now you're just a hologram and I don't really understand your complicated plan. I take pills. to be still. I can't sleep. And it's been weeks of taking medicine because then I stop remembering reasons why I'm hemorrhaging, furiously messaging anyone who's listening to all the shit I'm drivelling, mad drama that I'm witnessing. Is anybody listening? I can't sleep. And it's been weeks. I feel like an addict. Why can't I quit my habit? Don't need much, just enough to take the smooth with the rough. Don't know when I'll give up. Why the hell did we break up? I need a drink. Can't think. Don't need much, just enough to take the smooth with the rough. Don't know when I'll give up. Why the hell did we break up? You feel sorry for your son, but keep doing your daughter wrong. No idea what she did. Are we co-parenting the same kids? Drowning in doubt, I rely on it. Credit card debt, I survive on it. Ain't no sin to be drinking when you're sober and sinking. We all crack under the pressure and need alcoholic pleasure. I need a drink. Can't think. I ain't a scribe, but I predict that when you're done with all this shit, getting handouts from your mother in spite of every wrong you done her, and are jealous of your brother and still hating on your father, jilted at the altar, having lost your son and daughter, you'll need a drink to rethink. I can't think without drink. I ain't a female alcoholic. I just use it when I want it because I function better on it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sensational. Thank you very much. Remember, because you've done that at Blend in Dundee.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've seen you perform. And I remember the place was dead quiet.
Dead quiet when I performed that.
Yeah.
And I was performing in Edinburgh on Tuesday because I sing that song as well. But I've got another singer now. Gorgeous, a girl with a gorgeous voice who's only done 2 public performances to sing the first part of the song, and I'll do the rap at the end.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Thank you.
It's one of those things you can see, even watching you here, I could see that you're literally, you were thinking, you were saying, you were doing everything that you were speaking through.
It's called being in the zone, man.
Oh, man.
I just said,
It's intense, man. Do you know what I mean? Just to sit like this close to it happening was fantastic. So thank you very much for doing
You're very
that.
welcome.
So it's been a pleasure talking to you, and if you're happy to sit down and talk some more shit with me and Andy Mack,
Absolutely.
like only we all can. So there was one big thing I wanted to talk to, and I went. There was really, because Mike always puts the notes in the chat, and I never ever have anything, and I really wanted to put this in, and it was this. I don't know if you have seen it, the Gillette advert.
Yes.
I thought-
Piers Morgan was talking about it, yeah.
Oh, mate, honestly, I thought it was fucking sensational. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And like, when nobody was kicking off about it, I could just see all these fragile dudes just absolutely shattering themselves.
I just people going crazy. Like, who are Gillette to tell us what to do and live our lives? It's like, when has a razor company or any company for that matter not told you how to live your life?
The fact of the matter is, I thought it was great because like Gillette have always been the best a man can get. You know, super masculine. The way that they done it, I thought was really well done. Do you know what I mean? I thought it addressed some brilliance, and it made me think about a lot of times that things that I've probably done in the past I didn't even bother about, and I was thinking, probably shouldn't have done that. Do you know what I mean? Just like, I think it's really good. I thought it was really good. Anyway, what about you, Andy Mack? You got some opinions?
All I've got to say is, what do they even need to be getting involved with? You sell fucking razors, man. Stick to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not bothered by it, but a lot of people lost their shit this week, and I was just like,
but do you know what I think? It was a good for a company that big
it just
to
thought
take
it was
the risk.
But is it a risk, though? There are a lot of people that are saying that Nike started a new trend by getting the I've forgotten his name, the guy that
Colin Kaepernick,
who takes the knee, by doing something with him. They got loads new, everybody was crazy with Nike. So I mean, I don't know what the trends are, but advertising is very, very cynical, and it is about creating a need and an aspiration so that you think you need that. One thing that probably most people don't know is that Gillette razors, the factory where they're made, is identical to the Bic razor factory. So the only thing that you're buying, a Gillette razor is no different from a Bic razor. The only thing that you're paying more for is the branding. And they have to come up with something pretty iconic to make people, aspire to use Gillette razors.
And that's exactly the same. Like, if you were, by fucking sake of argument, I don't know, McCain's oven chips. and fucking Safeway's own brand chips. They're probably still made in the same factory.
yeah.
Again, it's like you're paying for the brand, you're paying for the experience of using the Gillette razor and all that.
I clearly don't use any razors.
Well, that was I was thinking. Are they not maybe responding to the trend that a lot of men now have beards and are going to barbers?
Well, see, I just thought it was good to see a company again, like when Nike did it with the Colin Kaepernick thing. I say the whole toxic masculinity and the Me Too movement has been a massive thing, and for a company like Gillette, whether or not they did, well, like obviously, like Andy Mack says, no publicity is bad publicity.
No, it never is.
But the fact that they addressed it and they tried to focus at what their market is, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be men or hairy women. I don't know.
Do they not do Gillette Venus and that? Do they not do quite a
Yeah,
large
they
range
do,
of women's
yeah.
products?
Well, that's what I mean, but it was good to. I just thought it was quite encouraging to see.
She's got it, the baby, she's got it. Sorry, totally off
So
topic there.
I was going to say, you're still slagging me off for a bit of Take That, and then you're
It's
busting
a great
out.
advert, mate. It's a great advert. Like, man, I don't have a problem with it. It didn't put me up nor down. I just thought everybody losing their shit was a bit odd because these companies spend their remit is to tell you how to live their life, your life, through using their products. Just thought at the end of the day, one side I do look at is Gillette, you're a razor company. However, how long would it be before a new Gillette advert came out saying the best a man can get, and then everybody lost their shit over that instead? So maybe it was a preemptive strike.
Quite
I
possibly.
don't know. But if... So
I
it's all
thought I'd
just...
got to bring it to the cynic at the table, though.
But they will have focus group the shit out of that
Oh,
advert
yeah,
to make
definitely.
sure
I
that
can
it
imagine,
would,
yeah.
Definitely.
you know, yeah.
It's a good
Plenty of
business
survey
regardless.
groups, focus
Yeah.
groups.
And of
for
course,
sure.
they're getting a lot of free publicity by everyone talking about it. So
Everybody's going mad. They're like, what woman at Gillette signed off on this? It's just like, come on, guys. It's like, okay, well, do you know what? Don't buy the razors. That's fine. But I've seen plenty of other people who are saying I would quite happily switch my brand to Gillette from, say, Dollar Shave Club or something like that after this. So you can look at all the people saying I won't buy Gillette again. There are plenty of people saying I will now buy your product. So
Well, look at the. I bet you the Nike sales absolutely skyrocketed after the Colin
They
Kaepernick
did,
thing.
yeah.
I love the thing about that when all the racists were burning their Nikes and folk are like, they've already got your money. You've just got no shoes anymore.
I know.
Fanny.
Mental. People are just losing it, man. It's fantastic to watch.
It was the same. It was the same with the meltdown about the vegan sausage rolls. I could not believe how. I was like, Greg's aren't announcing that they're stopping normal sausage rolls. It just means more people can eat there. It was just blows my mind. Andy Mack,
It's no need.
How you
Just-
getting- you getting
let's all
ready?
just calm down.
getting ready for the vegan turn now.
Yeah, a lot of folk have been reaching out on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that this week. Was having a lengthy discussion with Ali Cook. After having a chat with Ali, I came to the conclusion, why am I actually doing this again?
Because he started dropping in all the vitamins and
Yeah, Mama Mac's been sending me vegan recipes, and you know how she does the Meals on Wheels that I've told you about?
Aye.
Well, she's like, I could make you some of those nice red Thai curries and that you like, and the green Thai ones, but I'll just do them with like tofu or corn stuff and that for you instead. I was like, you just batter on ahead.
you carry on there, Mama Mac. Thank you very much.
So yeah, that was that. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to Night and Day because PJ's been dropping me some messages about it as well. He's like, stay strong, brother. And I caught up with their show, their last episode there just this afternoon, and they seem to think that I've got chicken nuggets hidden under my bed. I was like, I wish I did, man.
Chicken nugget drop.
Yeah, they reckon, so when they were talking about it, they were reckoning that it might be hard or easy for me to cheat because, you know, I'm a single guy, I live alone. Whereas like somebody like yourself or Mike could
Couldn't get
obviously
away
have
with
like Megan or Connie or your kids and that to keep an eye on you. But yeah, they thought I'd have nuggies under the bed, be cheating and that, half living at night.
I remember my mate almost messed up being a vegan. He'd done like vegan for January, and he was actually having a conversation about it with somebody. And as he was talking, he grabbed a Kit Kat off the table and just started away to eat it. Not even thinking, like literally had the Kit Kat hovering in his mouth. I was like, I can't eat this.
all I'm going to say, because we've got an episode coming up in a couple of days' time with one of our listeners who's a vegan, so we're going to probably talk about it a lot more in
we'll get
depth
more.
then, but I've been doing my homework through the week. A lot of people have been reaching out and sending me stuff to read, which has been awesome. Thank you very much. But I am really worried because I'm sitting going, fuck, I can't eat eggs, there's no cheese, you know, it's just like...
You have to get planning. You have to like.
It's going to be. It's not going to be easy. There are going to be times where I'm going to be like, man, I could just go like scrambled eggs on toast. It's just like I can't have that.
Go beans.
Gelatin is the thing that is hard to find stuff without.
What about beans? Beans on toast. There you go.
Oh, fucking love beans, mate.
Beans,
bean daft.
Bean daft, hey. Well, since we've just gone on to things that are good or not, how about we jump into a wee bit of...
Can I do it in Mike's accent?
Go on then.
Braw or Naw?
He's in a Scottish accent now. Play the fucking music.
Braw or Naw. Braw or Naw. Braw or Naw.
So we had a few Braw or Naw. Have you ever heard Braw or Naw
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
Nnena?
yeah. I've heard it.
So I had one from our pal, actually one of Andy Mac's all-time favourite guests. Want to shout out to Andy Henderson and his lovely wife Katsina,
Oh, yeah, that's right,
who
yeah.
have just had their baby boy.
Congratulations, dude.
Congratulations.
He's going to hate this one, man. He hates all that shit, like newborns on Facebook and that. He's going to go fucking mental.
He's not going to post it on Facebook,
No,
is he?
is he I didn't even catch she was pregnant, to be honest with you. Until Mike dropped in the group chat, Andy Henderson's had this kid, I was like, she must have been up the duff then. That can't have come as a surprise, surely.
Nice job, Shagger.
I know. Right. Anyway. Right, first of all, let's just go back to the start. First of all, he said, we've often talked about people who try and wear funny t-shirts. Mm-hmm. So Andy sent me these sort of socks that say, "Do not disturb, I'm gaming," or "Do not disturb, I'm watching the rugby." So things like that where people just think, "Oh, look at me, I'm so quirky."
I'd put on a pair of those to kick somebody up the arse that's wearing them, man. Honestly. What is that all about?
So I'm not going to count as a Braw or Naw because we've already discussed those t-shirts. They're shite anyway. Andy referred to people who wear them as mutants.
Lovely.
First of all, Andy Henderson. Braw or Naw. People who start conversations in Facebook comments that have nothing to do with the original comment. Made up example. Just made this cracking steak pie. Oh, babe, looks great. That your wee Jimmy off to school now? Aye, I mind when he was a baby, etc., etc.
Oh my God.
No need.
That's what Messenger's for. So I'm gonna just kick this off real quick. That's a no from me.
No.
No.
No. Straight in the knob in. I've just reread it. Happy birthday Facebook posts for pets.
No.
Oh my God.
I know. I think Claire's got an Instagram page for her dog, does she?
Claire.
Courtney, she got a dog? A beagle?
She does.
Yeah.
She might
So
do it.
Claire, sorry, this is going to offend you, but yeah, no celebrating
Man, look,
birthdays
I
of pets.
love, I
no
absolutely
Facebook
love
pages of pets.
pictures of dogs and cute animal videos on the internet.
No.
But no, I was the same. My ex used to buy a stocking for the dog. I'm like, the dog doesn't ken it's Christmas. The dog doesn't even ken it's fucking Tuesday. You know what I mean?
No need.
Like, she gets those biscuits all the fucking time. Nah, it's no for us. So that's a no.
No.
Round the table. Right, cool. We got some in the email from is it Chris.
There's
Have you got them written down?
no, there's the ones I got on Facebook from Chris. So
You got to
I
read
don't
them
know-
out.
I don't know if we've maybe done a couple of these though. There's a top 3 here as well, actually.
Ooh, we'll jump into that afterwards.
So the first one he's got is pie on a roll. So a pie on a roll. It says 100% bra from me.
I'm sure we've discussed that before. I think it was a resounding bra.
Is this a vegan pie? Because you need to consider that.
Vegan pie in a row.
I'd eat it, man.
A corn.
I'm not
corn
scared.
pie. A corn. I'm not scared. I'm not even scared, man.
I'm no bothered.
Oh fucking pie in a roll, bro.
Bra.
Anything's good if you put it on a roll.
Yeah.
He's got here ketchup kept in the fridge. Again, we maybe did this like last
we
summer.
talked.
or
I'm
something,
sure Mike talked about this. I love a bit of ketchup in the fridge, man.
Yeah, I keep mine in the fridge.
Yeah.
He says, no, just put it in the cupboard. Cold condiments on my chips. Fuck right. I have
Sounds
to
like he takes a bit of an impassioned stance on this.
Yeah, you didn't want warm sauce.
Nah, man, it's got to be cold. I think it makes it taste better.
Same like with your mustard, with your jar of Coleman's English mustard.
Yeah.
It's got to be in the fridge because
Yeah.
it is slightly thicker than when it gets all runny and that. It's at room temperature.
I'm fucking hungry, Ken. Every time I leave here, we end up talking about food at some point.
I had a McDonald's before.
And yourself, Big Andy.
I was on the chicken nuggies, man. Shock on it.
I can just see the 31st of January is going to be Andy walking to McDonald's. I want some nuggets. How many? I want all of the fucking nuggets. put them in a bag. Nobody's going to get hurt. Just give me my fucking chicken nuggets.
Honestly.
My daughter's vegetarian, and even she couldn't give up chicken nuggets.
So she's not a vegetarian, is
No,
she?
she'd be just like, don't tell my brother.
My wee sister used to say, I'm vegetarian, but I still eat ham. I was like, you're no fucking vegetarian then, are you?
Ham's good though.
I don't like processed ham.
Mind you, I
I
saw
like
this,
a big ham joint, but see, like the thinly sliced shit. Oh.
I saw this. Somebody had sent me. I think it was actually Nate had sent me. It was. I can't remember. I think it was like a lawn and bacon roll, but it was vegan lawn and vegan bacon. I'm not gonna lie, it looked fucking deadly, man.
Aye.
No joking, man.
Nice.
Looked good.
Deadly.
So, I've got another one because we were talking. Me and him. We've got a Braw Or Naw here. Tinned fish. Braw
No.
Or Naw.
No. I don't like fish anyway, man, but tinned fish,
Oh, I mean, I eat tuna. That's tinned, I guess.
I can't do fish, man.
Braw Or Naw.
Nah. My initial reaction is nah.
No, that's
Tin
not
of
the sound,
sardines, high.
Oh, no.
Bulk, mate.
Get away from me. I've just got. I did have one. Where's it gone? Oh, here we go. Bro, no. Take that.
No.
Bro. All day. Nnena. Don't
Bro with Robbie.
Oh yeah. I'm talking like
Yeah.
mid
original, the
mid
original,
90s take
yeah.
that. Yeah, the first time around. I'm not up for any of
Five
this.
man take that.
I'm
Not
not
four
for
man
any of
take
this.
Take that, the man band.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm not for any of this patient shite. It only takes a minute, girl.
Damn, so that one's going in the Brawl of Fame then.
Brawl of Fame for Take That
Yeah,
High.
take that one in the chin. I've got one more. I've got one more that I'd written down earlier. I tweeted this earlier, and then one of our listeners, Craig, said that he thought there should be a Braw Or Naw. So my statement was, Chewing the Fat is better than Still Game. Braw Or Naw.
Well, that's not even a Braw Or Naw. That's just
I know it's not.
That's an
but
existential crisis I'm having right now.
he suggested it should be a Braw Or Naw, and I was like, well, Chewing the Fat was better than Still Game.
Nah,
to me, so Braw for me.
Like, I like Still Game, but I don't watch it as religiously as
Yeah,
everyone
that's
else
what I
does.
said. I like Still Game, but I didn't watch every episode.
No, like I stick it on. It's one of those things that if I'm tidying the living room, I'll stick Netflix on and I'll bash on Still Game in the background and I'll sort of half watch it. But as everyone's like, oh, there's a new series coming out, I'm like, all right, I'll get round to that eventually when I watch the other four. Like, but Chewing the Fat, man, that's seminal. Like, that's brilliant.
First couple of seasons of Chewing the Fat, untouchable.
Wank, good guy, wank.
Just think of some of the characters like Ronald de Villiers. Every scene he was never in.
Would they come and bump?
Yeah. Or the Finty Tints. Or the Canadian boys that come back to empty out their gun. There's water pissing all air, the flare.
Two siders in space. Said phasers to Malky. Captain, will you stop kicking at my arse?
Oh, and the bowling club scene as well.
Oh.
If you remember the bowling club scene.
Yeah, couple up. Is that one of the chavs?
No, that's the one where they've got the two bowling clubs that are going at it, and then they come round to sit and like they're having the meal before it, and they've got the fish, but the fish goes off, and all the boys start like shitting themselves when they're bowling and that. Fucking I'm going to put that on the Facey page.
Oh,
That's
mate.
an absolute classic.
I'm going straight here. What's on Netflix too?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube, mate.
You couple of fannies.
I think that's a bra.
That's two Neds and Blondie. They got the cut out of Davy Harry or something. No, Lulu. That's it. Oh man, aye. No, that's not even a question. Aye, Chewing the Fat all fucking day.
I'm glad we've cleared that up, guys.
Right.
Pressing
I think
Mars.
I'd like to jump right. So that was Braw Or Naw for this week. I'd like to jump into a very special feature now. This is a very rare feature that we do because we've been waiting for people to get in touch. But this.
Aye, we didn't make up these
We didn't
emails that
make up
come
these-
in. Like,
this
they
is
just-
I believe you. I
This
can
is-
see you reading
This
them.
is a genuine email that
not that
someone
we
sent
make
in.
anything up, but
This is, ladies and gentlemen, the return. Can we get a wee fanfare in here?
drum roll.
Agony Andy. Oh, it's happening. An actual email from an actual listener who has obviously went on one of these like make up your own hidden email websites or something because it's like the email is just like an array of letters. So we won't tell
That's what
them-
you hate to do for your Pornhub account or your creepy Twitter or fucking that kind of stuff.
on the dark web. Right, so I'll read out the email in its entirety. So we'll leave out the person's name. We'll call him
Steve.
It's definitely not his name, though. I was thinking more like Esteban. We'll call him
Mr.
Esteban.
X.
Mr. X. So, Mr. X writes, "Hi, boys. I love the podcast and I listen every week. Thank you, mate. You have a uniquely Scottish take on popular topics, even Mike. That makes me laugh every time I listen. Jordan is the host and has the interview skills. Thank you very much. Mike brings his random topics and ideas. Who would rent cutlery?
We would.
Mike has an idea called Renham Spoons, where you bring your own food to a restaurant and you pay for the cutlery. He's convinced it's a fucking moneymaker, like, but
In Scotland,
he's going worldwide, like.
people would just turn up with their own cutlery.
Just sit inside.
Or nick it because they've rented it.
Yeah, to be fair, whenever this gets brought up on the show, Mike, it gets torn apart, but he stays true.
I'm converted to it now. I'm with him now.
Sorry, Mr. X, who would rent cutlery? And Andy Mack is the brains of the whole operation and the most quick-witted. He's too quick-witted for his own good, because Andy will bust out a one-liner and then immediately go, oh, fuck. The only part of the pod I miss is Agony Andy, but I hope my dilemma will be good enough to get a few laughs.
All right, let's hear it.
I've got to put on my voice. I've recently needed to move out of my flat on short notice after a dispute with my landlord. I wasn't really looking forward to moving in with my girlfriend yet, but I decided to give it a shot, as it would help her save some money. Everything is great, but her broadband provider is Sky, and by default, they have a parental block set up so that you can't visit any adult sites without logging in and changing the setting.
Move out.
I'm no a pervert, but I occasionally like to watch an adult film when she's away with her work. Aye, aye.
Mm-hmm.
How can I get her to give me the password or change the setting so I can watch porn without her thinking I'm a pure horn dog? Thanks, Mr. X.
Mr. X. Well,
So,
aren't you in a sticky situation there, mate?
no, he's no, mate, that's the
He will
problem.
be by the time he's heard this. First thing I've got to say, parental lock, who's with Sky. I would just be, right, well, the first problem there is Sky's got shit download speeds. So the first thing I'd be doing is waiting for the missus to come home tomorrow and just being like, look, love, listen, I've changed the internet. We're going to Virgin Media, fibre optic, 200 meg, no parental lock. I swear to God, folk who have changed from Sky to Virgin, first couple of weeks just about wank themselves to death, man. The amount of porn that you can get lightning quick. So that would be that would be my first solution. Change your internet provider. Second thing I'm thinking is, why is there a parental lock on it? Are there children in this house? Does she have kids? So you're moving in, new girlfriend, she already got kids. Because I'll be honest, I don't think you should be beating off if there are children next door. No, I just don't. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right. I don't know really other than that.
But I think it depends on the age of the kids, because they could be a boon, because I don't know about your kids, but my kids can work their way around any parental block on anything, and you could just,
Come on, mate. Stop being such a tight arse. Flick off your Wi-Fi, bust it out on your 3G.
Yeah.
Well, that's just
It's
what
not
I was
going to take you very long.
5G is just about to get rolled out. Your other option, and it's a really, really critical choice, this one. Public Wi-Fi hotspots. Or you go to your work where you've got works Wi-Fi, or any hospital or educational establishment. They've all got like educational logins that you can browse for free, when you're in the college or that. So that's what I would be doing. I'd be going out and get myself a new phone. If I can't get a new ISP, get myself a new phone, plenty of memory, and just fucking download an absolute stash next time I'm at my work. Just go to the bog for half an hour and get your phone loaded up. All else fails.
A wee danger wank.
There is nothing, there is no better feeling than a danger wank. It's like when you used to run up to your bedroom and just start beating one off and then shout, "Mum!" And see, you finished before your mum came up. I've raced the toaster, I've raced the microwave, I've raced the kettle. You better believe it. So, no, in all honesty, let's winding this one back in. I think you've got three choices. Change the internet, go to your work to download porn, or I think you're just going to have to leave her. Maybe ask her if she's into it. If she says yeah, then just ask her for the password and cha-ching, away you go. So, Mr. X, I hope that helps you. Let us know how you get on. Any problems, I'm not liable for them.
That was one of my favourite things that's ever happened in this show. Ladies and gentlemen, please write in. We keep everything secret. We want to share your name or details. Mr. X Kens himself. He's probably sitting there hopefully wanking himself to death after Andy's advice.
I hope you will be by the end of next week.
Go on
Get that
yourself,
Virgin
big fella.
broadband loaded.
Go on yourself, big fella. How do you follow that? In the name of Christ.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. You just get...
That was amazing, Andy. Honestly.
Don't know, man.
That was sensational.
Racing the toaster.
Racing the toaster. You
Never beat me yet.
You said...
That's why they call me Usain Bolt. 9.76 seconds.
Usain Bolt of the kitchen.
Jesus, Mom.
What's the top three, for fuck's sake?
Right, okay, so this week's top three. This also came from listener to the show, Chris. Chris Casser, I think. Casser is his second name, yeah. So he's got top three comedy shows. For example, Eddie Murphy Raw, Jim Jeffries Alcoholocaust, Monkey Sword Fight episodes. You sweet talked yourself in a top three this week, didn't you, Chris? Says, cheers, boys, keep up the good work, and well done on getting yourself signed up. So, yeah, cheers.
Andy Mack, yeah. Oh, Mama Pats was buzzing for you, by the way.
Cheers, Mama Pats.
She did actually say, she goes, I don't know how long you'll keep him for.
Forever.
Yeah.
Stuck with me, I'm afraid.
Monkey Sword Fight, loyal high. So are we talking just any comedy platform, whether it's TV show, stand-up show, or...
I think he was meaning more stand-up.
Okay.
But I thought that would be a good one for you because you obviously watch a lot of stand-up anyway. I don't know, do you watch a lot of sort of stand-up comedy and that, Nnena?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll jump off then. Right, first of all... Oh, fuck.
I'll jump off, he says.
Oh, Christ. I've got so many running about my head. First of all, Frankie Boyle, Hurt You Like You've Never Been Loved.
That's going to be in one of mine.
Yeah, he's...
Brilliant one.
I didn't like his TV show when he did it, because his sketches were just... It was like he was trying to be too much Frankie Boyle, but he's so clever and so cutting, and, like, he says things that would be considered offensive, but he's never actually taken the piss out of what he's saying has been offensive. Is actually always very well crafted jokes about things that are, it's horrific things that are actually happening in the world.
Yeah.
And he's not doing them, but he's saying them, and the way he shapes a joke is just unbelievable. I think he kills the game. I can't help it, but Louis C.K., horrible human being, but like his first couple of stand-up shows were just amazing, man. I just loved the way that, like we said before, he just spoke like you would imagine he would speak to his pals. So like I say, horrible human being, but stand-up is fucking frightening. And top one, Tom Segura. He's a comedian from America, and I couldn't even pick any of his 3 specials that are on Netflix, and his ones that are on Spotify as well. He's amazing, man. He's so funny. He is disgusting, but just his cadence and the way that he speaks, and you can tell from his vernacular that that's just how he tells things, and it is so good. And like just little sound effects and stuff. I mean, he's got this one thing where he's like, he just shouts. He goes, "You'll never have more fun than going into South Central and shouting at someone like an angry black guy from like LA." He's like, "Sup, Kane!" He's like, he shouted at Big Daddy Kane, "Sup, Kane." He goes, "It's the most fun you'll ever have in your life." He goes, "Just go and shout things," or just every now and again he just runs past me, he shouts, "Bikes!" It makes no sense what I'm saying here, but do yourself a favour.
I'm going to check that out.
Check out Tom Segura. He's got 3 specials on Netflix, and every single one of them is absolutely sensational.
And his podcasts are also...
Oh yeah, Your Mum's House. Your Mum's House is brilliant. So you got... fuck, I've totally forgotten what I said.
You had Frankie Boyle.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
before he started beating off in front of people, and Tom
He probably
Segura.
just got Virgin Broadband that day. He was just like, oi,
I'm sorry. He never
fucked.
Thing is, he never finished the danger wipe. He just never stopped.
Well,
Nnena, how would you go?
Ooh, I'm struggling with my number 3. I know my number 2 and my number 1, but I know what I'm really enjoying at the moment. I'm really enjoying Two Doors Down with Elaine C.Smith in it. So I don't know if she's got any stand up, but I could imagine
She probably
that
does,
she
yeah.
would be like, she's somebody that I want to check out. So I'm going to have her as my number 3 spot because, I'm really feeling her at the moment. Number 2's got to be Eddie Murphy Raw. I just watched it so many times. I'm introducing it now to my children and he's laughing as well.
Yeah.
But my standout favourite is without a doubt Chris Rock, Tambourine. Just hilarious. I see him live whenever he comes to Scotland and he just has me creasing up in the aisle. And whenever I see him on things like Real House Husbands of Hollywood, like he's the best thing in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so many people after his crown, like his own brother and Kevin Hart, obviously. But when Chris Rock gets out there, he just kind of reminds them why he's where he is.
Yeah.
And I mean, that Tambourine is all about his divorce and the sketch where he talks about, you know, his wife being, soon to be ex-wife, in the room with a lawyer and basically a room full of 10 people. And he's just like, and all these people want my money. He said, that's when you know you've made it. Do you know what I mean? And I just like, you know, I just kind of, it's just a unique kind of take on being a rich black man. Do you know what I
I've
mean?
heard these brilliant one-liners like, have you ever seen Dogma?
Yeah.
The Kevin Smith film,
Yeah.
the bit where he falls to earth.
Yeah.
And he's like, Jesus Christ, is it? I know him. Is that, the N-word owes me $14.
Yeah.
And like, he just ad-libbed that. And Kevin Smith had to give him a writer's credit because he's like, that was 10 times funnier than anything I
Yeah.
could have written.
Yeah.
So you hear about him that he's just like, he's still on it.
Yeah, and I love him as the zebra as well, you know, in all the like he's just a funny guy. He's just a funny guy.
I'd actually like to slip out Louis C.K. in favour of Dave Chapelle.
Oh, I love Dave Chappelle.
His most recent one actually is one of my favourites. So
Oh, you keep taking all mine, man.
right,
Dave
I'll keep
Chappelle
Louis
is
C.K.
funny.
I'll keep Louis C.K.
No, I had the same Frankie Boyle one, but then generally anything by Frankie Boyle works
Yeah.
for me. I think for number 2, number 2 was tough, but I wanted to put Raw in there as well, just because when I saw it for the first time, it's like, I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Or heard, most people had never heard anything like it.
yeah.
And then at number 1, it's early Lee Evans, but I can't remember the exact, the first one that I watched that made me go, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he so funny?
Yeah.
Although he's not as funny as what he used to be.
It was.
I don't think so.
The thing is, I think it's not even that, because it was the same with like Peter Kay. When they came out and they did it, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But then when they came back and tried to do it again, it wasn't as funny. It was.
Lee Evans' first 3 or 4
Yeah.
like specials, first 3 or 4 DVDs are just like,
Never seen a man sweat
No.
more in my entire
Yeah,
life.
that's
like
true.
literally soaked through. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
so yeah. Sorry, I can't give you the exact name of
The ones. Nah.
the ones, but
I like it. No,
And his
but-
early stuff doesn't date either. Lee Evans' stuff, because it's so much physical comedy.
Yeah,
So
totally.
that's still
I
funny.
think you can always tell when a comedian, like we've talked about this a million times before, gets that big that you can tell they're not really writing their own material and going out and working it anymore. Like you mentioned Kevin Hart earlier. Now his first few shows are
Yeah.
some of the best things ever,
Yeah.
but then his last stand-up show. But then
Because he's not. Once they get big,
Yeah.
they don't have. You know, they have scheduling problems. They can't. You
They
know,
can't
they have
just
to
go
work.
around, yeah.
They have to work all the time. They're constantly promoting,
so-
and your work does suffer. It doesn't matter what line of business you're. I mean, Kanye West isn't the artist that he is now because he's got a clothing line and a shoe line.
And he's
Do you know what I
mental.
mean?
and his head's up his arse.
but I mean, but if he concentrated on the music,
Yeah,
the
no.
music would get better. If he
I
left
think-
everything else
I
alone.
think Kanye West's a perfect example of what you talked about earlier. Is he's writing in a vacuum.
yeah.
He's surrounded by yes men, and he'll just be. He literally fart into a beatbox and then just play a keyboard of different fart sounds, and people are like, "Oh, Kanye,
Yeah.
mate, this is fucking mind blowing."
Yeah.
So he's not actually going anywhere where he's getting constructive criticism like you make. Like you talked
Exactly.
about.
I mean, you could almost say he's actually already done that with that scoopty poop
Oh my
Yeah.
god, man!
fucking thing that was
See,
from
'cause
last
every
year.
minute- see, whenever Kanye does something mental, I go back and listen to his first couple of albums. And
Yeah.
like, right, that's okay.
I'm raging he's no been on my
Joe
boy
Rogan yet.
Rojogan.
Oh, that's Mike Tyson tonight, though.
Yeah, I know. I watched the first 10 minutes before I came down here.
Aye.
And I was like, fuck, I'll not
Mike
get to watch it
Tyson.
because I need to go and edit. when
Mike
I-
Tyson. Mike Tyson. Right, well, thank you very much, Nnena, for coming on.
You're very welcome.
It's been
Thank
an
you for
absolute
having me.
pleasure.
We've
Thank
not
you
got
so
a
much.
watching or listening this week.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. See,
Mike goes away. Mike, you need to come back, man, because this guy's just, he's off the
Is he
rails
the one that
tonight.
keeps you guys on?
Aye.
No, that's me.
That's why he did it to me there. Right, so, what are we watching and listening to this week?
What have you been watching or listening to this week?
Right, so, will I go? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
If you're good to go, go.
I'm good to go. I've been listening to a bit of Take That this week. Greatest hits. 10 bananas. I started watching Titans on Netflix. It's like some of Batman's sort of B-list characters. It's based around the Robin moves to Chicago because he's pissed off with Batman. It's alright. It's quite good. Watchable. Nothing like fucking life
Goes
changing.
off to Chicago to do what?
Fight crime.
All right.
And there's a bit at the start where somebody's like, Robin jumps in, he's got this crowd of thugs kicking about him. And they're all like, oh fuck, where's Batman? And he's just standing like that. Oh!
He gets done in.
No, so he absolutely murks all these boys and he's standing over them and he just goes like, fuck Batman. I'm like, oh, Robin! So that's alright, but I'd give it a 6 bananas. 6 bananas out of 10.
Solid 6. Solid 6.
What else? That's about it, to be honest with you. I've had a very busy week, so that's about all I've managed to get into. So, Nnena?
Well, I've been watching Two Doors Down. I'm watching the new series, and I'm watching the first 3 series that I haven't watched, and I just love it. And very excited because the new series of True Detective is out as well. I only just watched the first series, kind of over Christmas and New Year. And my brother told me not to bother with the second series and just wait for the third. So that's what I'm looking to watch
I've heard a lot about that,
at the
actually.
moment. It's pretty. The first series is amazing, and the third series is supposed to be up there as well.
Woody Harrelson can do more with a look than anything he can do by opening his mouth.
Yeah,
Oh, I love,
he is
absolutely
amazing in it.
Woody
He's
Harrelson.
absolutely
love
amazing.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I want to be his pal. Anytime I see him on a film, I was like, oh, fuck, I bet you'd be a great night out.
Yeah, and I do that now actually on Netflix. I Google actors that I want to see, see what they're in, rather than because they clearly, or their agent makes good choices.
Him or Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, well, he's in both of them.
And he's that guy that managed to break out his stereotype, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was, all the roles he was constantly cast in. Rom-coms. He was like the American Hugh Grant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was that? That's a fucking bang on that.
That's actually a good comparison.
Yeah.
Really good comparison, mate.
I'll
Fucking
tweet that when I get him.
Aye.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever thought Matthew McConaughey's really just an American Hugh Grant?
Yeah, and everybody's still going mental at me because I said that Still Game was shite. Chewin The Fat was better.
That's the episode title. Should we say that? That should be the episode title. Still game shite. There we go. Boom. Have that.
Fuck yes.
Still game, still shy.
Anything else?
No, that's what. Well, I'm listening to. I was listening to the BBC Sounds of 2019. So obviously I knew Octavian, who won. I knew his stuff really well, and he's the first rapper to win since 50 Cent won quite a while ago. But there's some singers in there as well that I wasn't familiar with that I'm kind of listening to a lot more. I love Ray Black's new album, not so new anymore, but I love a lot of what she's doing. And but mostly I listen to what my kids listen to. So, little this, little that, XXX Tentacion, that Juice WRLD, that kind of thing.
Mike is going to be kicking himself.
Nice one. Andy Mac, what about yourself?
A few things. I actually put mine in notes tonight.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, before I came down, I was like,
Usually standing there, I was like, I'm not watching any TV.
there was also something else I've written on top of. I'll come to that at the end.
Any porn titles you want to share with us?
No.
Big busty bitches.
No, I'm out of 3G and the Wi-Fi's down. Yeah. So yeah, what have I been watching? Night and Day, which I mentioned earlier on. I just also wanted to say, touching on that, is how nice, obviously, Alana is in every episode. She's such a sweetheart. I just was sitting there today thinking, I couldn't imagine her raising her voice and going absolutely, can't imagine she was going mental at her kids or something.
I don't actually think she'd have to.
No,
I've thought this a couple of times. So there's a Canadian podcast we're good friends with called Night and Day, and it's a husband and wife that do it. Really nice people. And Alana's got this really soft and soothing voice, and I think that'd probably be even more terrifying. So Alana, next time you do an episode, can you tell us to go and tidy our room in your nice stern voice? It's not weird. But I just want to hear. I want to hear like the angry mum voice from Alana.
I honestly was just sitting there thinking, I just couldn't imagine her just going like, the switch goes and she just goes absolutely tits. Do you know what I mean? But
you know, I think it's something mums have, because even now, right, I'm going to be 30 in August, and my mum is at least 6 inches shorter than I am, but she'll flash me that look, me, my brother, or my sister, and we'll fuck up real quick, like instantly. You get the look from Mama Pat's, and if you don't shit yourself, you're about to.
I'll get Mama Pat's to give Paul the look when he's coming fucking chapping on my door. So yeah, there was that. Just to kind of tidy things up, bit of Joe Rogan this week, MMA episode with Brendan Schaub. I had to listen to that last night, and then the rest of it when I got up this morning. The episode from earlier this week with Theo Von in it
That's a good name.
was
Theo Von's,
absolutely brilliant. I'm really starting to
gonna
like
check
Theo
that out,
Von,
yeah.
man.
I'm sure his,
Such a cool guy, man.
his stand-up special's still on Netflix, and it's called No Offense, and he's like this southern guy from like, it's like someone like arse fuck nowhere in America,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But like just the way he talks, and just it is so good. But you definitely check out Theo Von. His podcast is funny too.
Yeah, he's also doing one with Brendan Schaub now as
The
well.
King and the Sting.
The King and the Sting,
Yeah, because he says that Brendan Shaw looks like he's been stung by a lot of bees.
Those two have got a good banner. Yeah, he does actually, doesn't he?
He does.
But yeah, so those two have got a good bit of banner. Other than that, I'm just checking my notes. I've been listening back. I did mention a couple of weeks ago Dirty Dike's album, Acrylic Snail. Well, when I listened to it at first, I was kind of like, yeah, it's good, but it's not that it's not what I was expecting. It's not what I was hoping for necessarily from start to finish. There's a lot of high points, but it's one of those ones that's fucking grown on me, man.
Right.
Yeah, so big shout out to Dirty Dike for that. Getting Beat Tape 2 ready, that'll be dropping tomorrow.
Nice.
Spent a lot of time this week watching a lot of politics stuff. Obviously, been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
Brexit. Out my
obviously,
tits.
you need to be well informed. Other than that, I'm just checking here. I've been watching a documentary called The Cold War, or 8 episodes. And then on the back of that, I've been reading a book called Soviet Perceptions of Economic Conditions During the Period of Stagnation.
Who the fuck are you like?
So basically, I'm reading
This is the
about.
same guy who was talking about wanking earlier.
I would have changed what I was watching if you'd gone first.
I'm reading a lot about a man who was in charge of the USSR between 64 and 82, a guy called Leonid Brezhnev, and his period in charge of the Soviet Union was known as the era of stagnation. Fascinating point in history. It's just something I'm doing a lot of reading about at the moment. Don't know why I'm curious, but I am curious, so I'm reading. And that's pretty much that. The only other thing I had in my note, which we didn't talk about, it doesn't matter, but it's a stupid thing, right?
Hey, go for it.
I just looked and it said, have you ever looked at a word you know is spelt correctly, but it looks wrong?
All
I
the
was-
time, yeah.
All the fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what is it? Necessary. I can never get necessary right the first time around. Is there
Yeah.
too many C's? Is there no enough?
Yeah.
Is that
One
enough?
C,
Is that
two
it?
S's,
Oh
yeah.
man, it fucks me up
All
every
correct
single
will get
day.
it for you.
I know, but if I'm just writing jotting things down in a meeting, I never ever get it right.
Focused and broccoli are the two words
Broccoli.
I can't. I never. Yeah.
Can he be put in 2 C's and focused, mate?
No, it's more how many S's there are in focused. I only put 1 C in there, but I never know whether to put one S or 2
you
S's.
were looking at me as though I was wrong there. That's why
No,
I was
no,
saying,
there's
you
only
don't
one
put 2
C.
C's in. I'm sitting
No,
there
there's
second
only one
looking at me.
C.
No, I'm sitting there second guessing myself.
No,
I'm going,
no.
wait a
I
minute,
know
I
there's
know I'm
one
right.
C. I know there's 1 C, but I never know whether there's 1 S or 2 S's.
We should do a spelling bee. How good would that be? Right, guys, a spelling bee.
That's the next live video. It's going to be a
Do you know
spell
what?
test.
Here's the crazy thing about the word. The word wasn't even a long word or one of those ones that trips you up, you know, you're whatever. It was quiet. A 5-letter word. Quiet. But I was looking at it and I was going, it's spelled correctly, but I was just looking at it going, it doesn't look right.
QUIET.
And I was uploading the beat tape to DistroKid and I was sitting going, I know that's right. I tried to go and Google it and I was like, why am I having to Google this? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me,
You got to
man?
lay off them bifters, Andy Max.
It's because we read less, and when you read less, then you forget.
Look at what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Is it written in crayon?
Fuck, honestly, man. So yeah, that was just one of those things, man. So madness.
Is that you then?
I think that's me. Aye. I'm out here.
Right, well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to this week's sponsors, Fair City Jiu-Jitsu. Respect, unity and honour for the boys down at Fair City Jiu-Jitsu. Perth's only dedicated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym. First class is free. Get down, get in contact. No experience, no fitness level required. Get in and learn something new for the new fucking year. Like I said, first session is free. Fair City Jiu-Jitsu. I would like to say thank you very much as well to Nnena Mckenzie for coming on and talking to us.
Thank you for
Been
having
an
me.
absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. It's been
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
great. I enjoyed it.
Have you got any gigs or anything coming up you want to shout out?
I have, yeah. I'm performing in Edinburgh at the Scottish Storytelling Centre as part of the Audacious Women Festival on the 23rd of February. But I think it's sold out.
Oh.
So, but I'm also performing at the opening of the festival as well, just a quick 5-minute slot. And I always perform at the Green Room.
Awesome.
At the open mics there. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll get your page shared up and everything like that on the Facebook page.
Where
Great.
can everybody
Yeah.
find you online?
My social media tags are at Black Girl Raw, which is BLKGRL. I'm on Instagram and on Facebook.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
We are on Facebook, Podbean, Twitter, MSF_podcast, Monkey Sword Fight Podcast. You can email us with your Agony Andies, please, please send in your Agony Andies.
Top threes, Braw Or Naws,
Braw Or Naws.
anything like that. Any suggestions?
MSF_podcast@gmail.com.
No. MSF_podcast is the Twitter handle.
Oh,
Monkey
shit.
Sword Fight Podcast @gmail.com is the email
I
listeners.
miss Mike. I am on Twitter at Wagwan Patrice.
Please come back, Mike.
Mike is on at _M dots.
I'm at Macapella.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you again to Nnena, Andy, Mac. Pleasure as always. Thank you for listening. Peace.
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 Yeah.